3 tries at a 2-point conversion is just absurd in any scenario when you have a bridge quarterback and not a quarterback that lays the bridge, but one that walks it. You got some guys that can make a bridge. Some guys, they can play a part in it. Jared Goff plays a part. And Jared Goff did not have a good game, in my opinion. He did not have a good game. He threw nothing but crucial picks. He had a good drive versus soft defense in the end. And the only play that got into the end zone where, we weren't that good, the red zone the whole day anyway. But a trick play is what actually got the score there, not a regular or anything, because we weren't doing that. Um, all this game showed me is we have a really good team, and in my personal opinion, we don't have a really great quarterback, but we have a good one, a good quarterback and a good team. The difference between us and the 49ers is they have a good quarterback and a great team. You know, I believe our team naturally could get there if everybody continues to grow as individuals. With Amon Ra, Aiden, everybody's young. But that quarterback, man, what I saw from Jared Goff, what I saw from Dak Prescott, it tells me Cam Newton was right. He got, there was a lot of controversy because Cam Newton said that Dak, Purdy, um, Goff, all bridge quarterbacks, you know. Um, he said they were game managers, and not game changers, right? Mm-hmm. And so, respectfully, I mean, throughout history, it's only been like, what, 2, 3 game changers at quarterback in the league at a time, And then you had like some elite game managers, and then you had the middle level of game managers, and, so on and so forth. But I feel like, Jared Goff, Dak Prescott look a lot alike. One guy looks a little riskier than the other, look a lot alike. Lamar versus Tua did not look alike. Didn't look alike. Lamar versus Jared Goff didn't look alike. Lamar versus anybody, you know what I'm saying? And those other guys didn't look alike. Lamar versus Sean Watson. The Browns won that game, right? Yeah. You knew who made the comeback, Deshaun Watson. See, when you got a guy, that's a game changer. You can turn the tide. You're not gonna lose. I mean, you ever seen Lamar lose 52-19 or anything like that? I don't think I ever have. I don't think I ever have.
Everybody has their day.
Nah. You ever seen Patrick Mahomes lose 52-19? No, because they're game changers. Like, he ain't gonna do it like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, guys like that, nah, they don't get beat like that. Nah, they don't. They don't. Yeah, you might win 55-35. I start slinging it with no care no more. But nah, I ain't never seen them get just because once it's you got Tua, Goff, all those guys. Once it's not their day, well, there goes the day. Sometimes it's not Mahomes' day, but he still got like 3 plays in him to alter the day. Always throwing picks, always fumbling, 90-yard touchdown. Okay, you look at the score, it's like, oh, it's 14-7, even though he's already thrown two. That's how you know a lot of these games too. Like these picks, they come and like teams aren't doing nothing with them. Like, I mean, we had to pick the start. No points. 65-yard catch by J-Mo. No points. And I'm not mad at that because I think Dan Wansky said it best. We are the Kings of the North because of those kind of plays. Because we kept doing that. Like, you gotta stay true to who you are, But when it gets to the playoffs, man, what they start saying, who has the best quarterback? Right? And then what they say, who has the best coach? Hey, I want to see what Dan Campbell, his real guts and glory are about in playoff game. That was a playoff game. I don't think he made the best choice down the way, but we all have to learn. I think that was a learning lesson for him.
Yeah, I agree on that. I think there's a lot to unpack to what you just said. I mean, you brought up the the game on Saturday. You brought up Lamar, Patrick Mahomes.
Well, I'm just
These
saying
are the
that I was
quarterbacks
just
in the
pointing out that
playoffs.
they are game changers
Well, no, man.
and why we, need to always keep our options open at quarterback because we don't have a game changer. We have a game manager.
That's why um, I said there's a lot to unpack to what you say. Because I feel like whenever you have a system quarterback, you can't blame the quarterback. You have to blame the system. That's why they put the system part before the QB. And when it comes to Jared Goff, he is a system quarterback. He was that way on the Rams. So we have a proven track record of what he can do inside of a system. However, again, as you just mentioned, when we go back to Saturday's game, talking about the Lions versus the Cowboys, the biggest thing that stands out to me is Dan Campbell's guts, but also not getting points after big drives.
Yeah.
Like when you bring up the fact that we got the turnover, didn't get points. We got the. Oh, man, dude, are you sure we didn't get points for the turnover? Because we were up 3-0. Was that our first drive?
We didn't get a touchdown.
Yeah.
And we was in the red zone. I don't know. Maybe we got a kick. Maybe I don't know. One of them we went for it on fourth,
Yeah.
and we didn't get nothing. And another one went for it on fourth, and we didn't get nothing. So
And that's why, again, I think, again, when it comes
yeah,
to.
we got nothing off the pick. Nothing. The kick was after.
Yeah, so when it comes to a system quarterback, I really do believe you have to blame the system. Uh, if us going forward on fourth is a great thing when it's an opportune time in the game to go for it. For example, our fake punt. That was an opportune time, backed up. You didn't expect it. It worked. But again, on that drive, we didn't get points. That was another drive that we didn't get points. Going forward on fourth in the red zone is a good thing, again, when it's an opportune time. If you're going forward on fourth and the game is 3-0, and you're going forward on fourth in the red zone, it doesn't make sense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
At some point, you have to just take the points. That's coaching. So when you bring up the playoffs, the thing I look forward to the most, the thing I'm worried about or most concerned about is our coaching, is Dan Campbell's coaching the game. Are you going to continue to just go forward and forth just to be aggressive and to stick to your style of play? Because that's what it's starting to look like now. Like, hey, I applaud you for being consistent with it. Like, if you weren't consistent with it, we'd have a whole other conversation. But being consistent with it, you get to put up consistent numbers. Like, we're above 35%, above 50%. It's like a 50-50 play for us. That's because of your aggressiveness in going for it.
Yeah.
So that's what worries me about the playoffs. And like you said, it is a learning lesson. It definitely is a learning lesson. I think it's a big learning lesson. It's a coaching learning lesson. There isn't much Jared Goff should be taken away from this game except, hey, be better under pressure.
That's just the thing, though, man. He's the worst quarterback in the league under pressure. I'm sure you noticed if you were watching the game, they pointed that out. I think his 11. Well, they said this after the first pick. There was another pick after that. So 12 picks under pressure, one touchdown under pressure. So we're going to go into the playoffs with a kryptonite that has no, there's no getting around it. If you pressure our quarterback, and granted, guess what? Most quarterbacks in the league are bad under pressure. But guess what? Most quarterbacks aren't in the playoffs. Most quarterbacks aren't in the Super Bowl. Most quarterbacks are, you know, bridge quarterbacks or under. It's 30 something teams in the league. Everybody's not Mahomes. I mean, it's what? Mahomes, Burrow, Allen,
I'm gonna be
Lamar.
honest with you, though.
Like, those are those guys. Hold on. I just want to be honest, man. Jared Goff ain't it. Jared Goff is a very good quarterback. But when you start to have a good team, you have to raise your expectations. Okay? Why was Jared Goff sent to us? Right? I'm not talking about his play. I'm talking about because that coach looked at our quarterback and said, man, sometimes you're going to do something, I ain't got to coach it. Oh, man, You know, yeah, you can. When Jared Goff messed up, guess whose fault it was? It wasn't his. It was Sean McVay's because he's a system quarterback, like you said. And I'm just saying, when you have a system quarterback, but you want to raise your expectations beyond that, like, you know, hey, Nick Foles, he had a moment. You know, most of the time, system quarterbacks are not getting you the Super Bowls. They're not getting you the consistent playoff opportunities because like, it's on the coaches to then have everything else right for you. Everything. You know, is everything going right in LA right now? No. We let a lot of guys go. We were over the cap, you know, the money was funny, but we made sure we had Stafford, we made sure we kept Aaron Donald, and we kept Cooper Cup. And you know the rookie receiver is about to break the record for most receiving yards by a rookie. You know, he's already at like 1,600 yards.
Yeah.
Hey, Jared Goff could never. I'm sorry. He could never. I'm not saying, oh, we shouldn't have got rid of Stafford. I believe, you know, we had to see what life was like when you actually build a team, you know.
Yeah.
So I agree to that. But I feel like we have the blueprint out there right now with the 49ers. In that blueprint being, just keep working on things and keep that team good. And it's not going to be a matter of you can put anybody back there. But you cannot tell me looking at our team that Baker Mayfield wouldn't get the same result.
Absolutely not. He definitely would.
He would.
That was disrespectful.
He would.
That was highly disrespectful.
He would, though.
That was highly disrespectful.
Is he winning his division?
Isn't he like 9-9?
Is he winning his division?
Yeah, but all division.
He said 9-8. Hey, what was Jared Goff's record when he got here? He played all those games.
What's his record right now?
Hey, what was his record when he got here? Year one. Hold on. Baker's in year one of Tampa Bay. They're winning the division and they're going to the playoffs.
What players does he have on his team again?
Hey man,
He doesn't have an elite wide receiver.
Was Amon-Ra on our team already?
I'm not sure.
He
3
was.
years ago.
He was. Amon-Ra was on the team.
Yeah, but wasn't Marvin Jones still out there for us?
Hey, don't bring that up. You know, Stafford got that guy 4 TDs in one game.
We didn't have Hutchinson on defense. We didn't nearly have the defense that we have now. And last year, what did Jared Goff do? Oh yeah, that's right. Almost got us into the playoffs. After starting off 1-6 as our defense was
almost. And Baker actually got his team going to the playoffs.
His defense is better than ours.
I don't know what you got against Baker.
I don't know what you got against Jared Goff, your hometown.
What I got against him? He ain't the guy.
Your comparisons to him.
Your
comparisons to him are.
I'm not
Hurts, Mahomes, Lamar, and who else did you say? You threw out another name, Deshaun Watson.
We're talking about
you. Be honest.
So you know what I'm talking about?
No, hold on.
I'm talking about the quarterbacks going to the playoffs.
Let me finish.
Everybody I brought up.
Let me finish. So
he got to beat.
Because you throw out all those guys, right?
Yeah.
I guarantee the 49ers would rather have Jalen Hurts than Brock Purdy. I guarantee you they rather have Lamar. I guarantee you they rather have...
49ers, they're in the same situation.
Because all other teams would rather have those quarterbacks. But you play with who you got.
They're in the same situation.
12-4. And if we won Saturday's game, we would be 12-4.
Right. And the NFC is weak because most of those quarterbacks are on the other side. I'm just saying, if the Lions had to play Mahomes twice, if the Lions had to play the Browns twice, the Steelers twice, and the Ravens twice, yeah, I would feel iffy about that. We played them once. That's my point.
Week 1.
Right. Okay. And if we play them again, who knows?
17,
all right. Look, Manny, look. It's not a fact. Most of the good quarterbacks are over there on the AFC.
Yeah, but
all right, because
quarterbacks.
You're pointing out who am I comparing him to? Comparing him to the guys that are going to the playoffs. All right, so Hurts is on his side. And I also compared him to Dak, who was also on his side. I also compared to Brock Purdy, who was also on his side. And the crazy part is, and why you look at these NFC playoffs and who is my sleeper team? The Rams. I told you this. Why? Because going into these playoffs right now, guess what? Who's the best quarterback going into the playoffs right now for the NFC?
Let's pause everything. Now we have our comparisons equal. Brock Purdy and Dak Prescott. Let me ask you a real honest
All question. Of the quarterbacks
answer honestly. The playoffs. Answer this question honestly. Honestly. Because it's answered, everybody already knows this answer. Who has a better roster, the 49ers or the Lions?
The 49ers.
Who has a better roster, the Cowboys or the Lions?
I'd actually go to Lions. You said roster. Hey, top to bottom. No, top to
Their
bottom.
defense is the number one in picks. So they're better than
No. They have one guy that has a bunch of pick sixes.
Yeah, but their entire
Yeah.
if you were watching Saturday's game, they
Yeah.
brought up their stats for the last.
Oh yeah,
years.
no. Their defense is better than ours.
Okay,
But that's not what that's not what I thought about.
who's CD Lamb?
Oh,
He is.
come on now.
Be honest,
No. Be honest though. Have CD Lamb had a game like that against any good team?
He just broke
Not any good team, any good defense. They played a lot of bad teams, man.
Okay.
Dallas has played a lot of bad teams this year.
He's made a lot of.
They've ate in bad games because it's a sucky team.
Okay.
That's just the truth.
All right. So
No. Offensively, I'm just saying. Offensively, I don't think they have a better offense than us. From line to quarterback, quarterback is tied. Receiving core is not tied. You got CD Lamb, but our whole core as a whole is better than yours.
My point in asking that question is because of our records, based on what the other teams have to play with and based on what we have to play with. If we won Saturday's game, we'd be 12-4, tied with the 49ers. But you're saying the 49ers have a better roster than us. So somebody on our offense is doing their job in order for us to be in these games, winning these games.
Yeah.
So Jared Goff is doing
it's called the running backs. Yeah, they're doing their job.
Okay.
All right.
But again,
because when we couldn't run that ball, we saw what happened. 3-12.
We were 3-12. We didn't run the ball at all when we shot. We scored a touchdown in Saturday's game.
That was a fluff defense at that point. I'm just saying we all watched the game. You can pull it back up. All right, they were playing.
Our running backs are
the DBs are playing back on that last drive. I pointed that out. We were not doing good inside the red zone. They let us get down there. All right, I'm not saying that they just let us walk down there, but the defense was playing soft. Give up nothing to the house, right? But we still got it anyway, right? So, you can say Goff had a good drive there, but
what happened in the red zone every other drive though?
We struggled.
Our running backs are better than our quarterback, but we still struggle in the red zone.
We struggled.
So if we put up
our running back, the running backs are just as reliant as the quarterback is relying on everybody else, right? Those running backs, why are you getting hit in the backfield when there's only one guy to get? Hold on. So when the guard or the tight end in most of those situations, they miss blocks. Go look at it. They miss. So I'm not. How's that Jared Goff fault? I'm not saying it's his fault, but throwing picks they are.
You're not wrong about that.
He threw them. All right.
And
what was supposed to be the game-winning clutch drive ended with a pick, and then thankfully Mike McCarthy doesn't know how to run the ball, and he gave us almost 2 minutes of time after that. Come on, if you give us the Detroit Lions the ball at that point with that, I'm just saying that's why I say our offense is better than theirs. Our team is better than theirs. Honestly, I said that all year. If you give us the ball, let's just say we flipped roles, we were winning. There's 2 minutes left. Manny, they ran 3 plays and only took off 11 seconds. I promise you, the Lions. Come on, if you get the ball back, same thing we did to Kansas City. How much time was on the clock? I think over 2 minutes. Mahomes didn't see that ball again because we have an actual line, and
we scored. You got the ball back.
We ended with the ball. We ran the clock out.
But he had the ball and he did.
I'm just saying, it ended in our hands. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying, with the lead. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. Reverse the roles. I don't see the Lions, doing what they done around for 11 seconds. You know what I'm saying? And that's McCarthy's problem, right? And I'm not saying Jared Goff. I'm not blaming anything on Jared Goff. I'm only speaking on the facts of who he is. I spoke on his limit even when we're winning, and I'm just at this point I'm just raising my expectations now because I can see you guys can coach a good team, you guys can build a good team. Now we have to be honest about the quarterback. This is a part of the team, all right. And why do I bring this? Why do I keep bringing this up, bro? Because I keep telling you I'm going to be disgusted if they give Jared Goff 40, 50 million, right? Because guess what? The other bridge quarterbacks get it. Tua's going to get it.
But there's a
Dak
reason,
gets it.
There's a reason why Dak and Purdy still have a job in this league. It's because everybody ain't them.
Because they're
Even though
good.
they ain't the best, everybody ain't them.
What I said
I
earlier,
guarantee
you have an elite game manager.
But if the Cowboys had a chance again to get any other quarterback that you listed, Mahomes, Lamar, Hurts, anybody, they would take that.
Right.
But those talents are once in a generation. There's a reason why those quarterbacks stay on
In
the
Philly,
same team for
you keep bringing up Hurts. That's another good example. Philly, they had Carson Wentz. They had a great quarterback.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Nick Foles. And then the second year after that,
regardless, they looked at their situation.
Next year after that was terrible.
They drafted Jalen off rip.
Yeah.
Rip. All right.
And
because
how did they have the position to do that? Was that because their team was so bad? They had
that's because they
traded him before they drafted Jalen Hurts.
No, they drafted Jalen first. Jalen was on the team. Jalen was on the bench
when Carson Wentz was there.
Yes,
there's a reason why he started though. He was not winning in his second year. Remember, he was the MVP. He was the runner-up for MVP before he got injured, and then Nick Foles took the mantle. The reason why Nick Foles didn't start the second year is because Carson Wentz was runner-up for MVP. So they said, this guy is definitely going to start again, no matter what Nick Foles does, which Nick Foles went out and got him the Super Bowl. The next year, Carson Wentz did not return as the same Superman he was before. Everybody expected him to, but I believe 9 games in, they were like 3-6. It was terrible.
No, they still went. No, they went to the playoffs. It was a 9-10 win team.
Was Carson Wentz out there, or did they start Nick?
No, he got hurt. He got hurt at the end of the season again. They were having a good year. He wasn't in the MVP race again, but they were having a good year. He was still having a good year. The turmoil was locker room turmoil. It wasn't on the field turmoil. To be just being correct on like the whole how this all played out. Because I watched that situation, but and after that, regardless, he got hurt again, and they got bounced with Nick Foles at the helm in the playoffs. That was the second year. They drafted Jalen in the second round because they know how to find guys.
But think about that scenario.
And I'm saying our GM is good like that too. Hold on. Our GM is good like that too. And I'm not saying we have to go out and get a guy. He might be sitting on the bench already. And I'm just letting you know, man, like, I don't know how you watch that game or any of the Lions games and not see that there is an element to this offense that will be unlocked, because we're not getting Jared Goff. He's not doing anything amazing. He's doing everything as he should. It's kind of like, like fundamentals, right? So all I'm saying is you can get a guy with fundamentals that also has a 70 speed on Madden, and that can just unlock that element. I don't even think we need a game changer, but Tyrod Taylor right now. No, man, he come on. They brought him in for Daniel Jones over there in New York. Come on, bro. Yeah, and people forget about Tyrod. Hey, you shook your head. Hold on. Tyrod Taylor was up there at one point. He had a serious injury. That's the only reason he came down a bit. But at one point, he was running Buffalo.
This is why Jameis Winston doesn't have a job. Yeah, those quarterbacks have games where it's like, oh my God, this guy might be the next second coming of nothing we've ever seen before. And they also have 5 interception games, 3 games in a row.
Yeah, so does
your
Stafford.
Inconsistencies.
So does Stafford.
Your inconsistencies is what keep you on the bench. Your consistencies is what keeps you winning games. Look at our situation.
Personally, I don't like that. I don't like that comparison because I feel like that's more of a skin color thing. Because
Jalen Hurts, Patrick Mahomes.
Can I finish my statement?
Go ahead.
It's a skin color thing because Jameis Winston had the exact same numbers as Stafford through the first 5 years of his career, and one guy was considered, his team just ain't there, and one guy was considered turnover prone. When he was in a pass-happy offense with a coach telling him to make those plays just because he had that arm. Jameis Winston right now, I don't know where his head, I don't know where his game's at, but from the moment he left Tampa Bay, he was honestly par for par with Stafford, always. And everybody get hyped up on the 30 interception season. Even with that, tied with Stafford. Tied, okay? Yards, TDs, interceptions. It's all how you want to view it. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying he had those numbers and he was a little more mobile. All right, and it wasn't like Stafford was getting more wins, but another coach looked at Stafford and said, I can do with you." Another coach didn't look at Jameson and say that. But his numbers were the same. His output was the same. And let's be honest, he never had a Calvin Johnson. Never. At any point. He never had a Dominican suit. At any point. He didn't have those things. And he was gunning. He was gunning. Come on, man. The team sucks. I'm trying to keep us in games. So I don't know why he's still on the bench. Maybe his game fell off now, but nah, he was there. He was there.
Well, the Bucks rode with him for a long, long time, and he got picked up by another team after that. I can't remember what team it was.
They cut him loose. He's been on the Saints since as the backup.
Yeah.
As the backup on the Saints. But that's what I mean, viewpoint.
But then he started. No, he started on the Saints again. He started when he first got there. And then,
He was on the bench behind Drew Brees.
No, Drew Brees left when he retired. Jameis Winston was supposed to be that quarterback before whatever quarterback they got now.
He played behind Drew. They made him a
Drew
starter.
Brees retired. He started the next. He literally started. Like there was
But you realize he was on the team with Drew Brees.
It was Drew Brees, bro.
I'm just saying he was on the team with Drew Brees. No, because
anybody's trying to be on the bench with Drew.
I'm saying he was on that team.
Yeah.
He played behind him. Then he started for 6 games and got injured.
Yeah.
Right. And then he never got to start again.
But that was my point, though.
He was 5-1 too.
In the 6 game season.
Yes, he was 5-1.
You sure?
I'm positive. You can look these
What
things
season
up.
was that? Was it 22?
The year after Drew Brees retired.
He was 5-1.
Yes, and he got injured.
And they didn't start him.
No.
When he came back.
No.
Is he still in the league?
Yeah, he's still on the team.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. Like,
that's
he's a humble guy. Like you know what I'm saying?
that is that race stuff in the league. That is that race stuff in the league.
Yeah, I'm saying he evolved. Like people bring up picks as if just what quarterback? Come on, man. Goff throw them things. I don't care how he'll
cash. Yeah. Those Bucks teams are like 4-12.
But they weren't. They were like 7-8. 8.
Right.
They had every year. They were literally a game out of the playoffs every time.
Every year. Well, they're in the same division as the Saints, so
yeah.
They didn't get that.
Yeah,
I think Carolina was also around at the time. And you had Matt Ryan. So it was like
he was a game out of the playoffs every time.
It was but you could just see his faults a lot more clearly because of everything that was around him.
Because
they being black.
Honestly, because they just say it. A lot of those guys are throwing picks, man. A lot of those guys. Who is it? Josh Allen. And not 30 though. Don't get me wrong. That was absurd, but he did that once. It wasn't that he did 30 every year. He did that once. All right.
Yeah.
On route to also throwing 5,000 yards. Okay. It's overlooked. That was his only 5,000 yard season. Why was he slinging it like that? That's on your coach, man. And guess what? He tried to do the same thing with Tom Brady. And Brady was like, no. So, remember, they started off bad, losing, and they got to the point where Brady was like, yeah, we're on the bye week, and I just kind of had to tell him, these are things I can do. These are things that I like to do. We need to get guys these little short outs. Winston just got an arm. And coaches abuse it.
Yeah. Well, I'm a Jameis Winston fan. You remember that on the Madden days.
Man, me too. Because
you're right. He's slinging it. He got speed.
That league stuff, man.
But I mean, come on now. You already know
that's like saying Cam ain't have it at the end. No, Cam ain't have opportunities anymore at the end. It wasn't there.
Now they're using something spit it out, bro.
They'd be, what about him on New England? What about any quarterback in New England since Brady left? A bad situation is a bad situation.
Fact.
Even if you're not a game changer no more, he could probably still an elite game manager.
Yeah.
And guess what? They had like 7 wins with Cam.
They were in it.
Yeah. What they look like now with Bailey and then Mac.
It's an embarrassment.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. At the end of the day, Lions need to make a move at quarterback at some point. Only because you cannot pay guys that kind of money, and because everybody, it's gonna I just see it coming, man. The whole city will turn on him because the second you give that money to him, and not to those other guys that we all want to be like, oh, well, this guy ain't, this or that. Listen, man, the team is what's making Jared Goff look good.
Yo, look, you have to. Everybody could use a better quarterback. Everybody could use a better quarterback. There's a region. There's a reason why. But hold on, let me finish. There's a reason why Purdy and Dak, guys that are assistant managers, still have a job, especially when they're consistent.
He's making $500,000. That's why he had the job.
He's a rookie. He's still on his rookie contract.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why he got a job.
Yeah, but
you
can
say that. Okay. If he don't get a Super Bowl, let's see what they pay him.
This depends on how far it goes.
It
depends on
he could make it there.
On their system.
He could.
Wasn't he in the NFC Championship?
Jimmy got them there. Jimmy played an NFC Championship game twice for them, and guess what? They said, "Get the hell out."
Jimmy was a different story, though.
He wasn't, though.
No, Jimmy was a different story.
He wasn't,
Jimmy didn't show up. There were just moments where he just completely.
Kind of like Jared Goff in our losses.
Bro, what?
I'm just saying, bro. Like,
it's so hard for me. It's hard for me to agree with you because I have to go back to last season's statistics. We were 1-6. To start the year. Taking the Eagles toe to toe, taking the Seahawks toe to toe.
At the beginning,
he came back and won 8 straight, or what was it, 6 straight? Lost to Carolina. And as you said before, in defense to him, that game was just
in defense to the team.
In defense to if you want to say the team, Jared Goff's on the team. Yeah. In defense to the players on the team, you said that game was just as big as any other game. So when you don't bring up the Carolina Panthers loss now as a point because that was my point originally as to why I felt like the team wasn't ready this year. But you corrected me and said, hey, no, that game was just as big as every other game. So now I'm correcting you on the same point you made. That game was just as big as every other game. And again, we were one game out of the playoffs, and that was that game. Or we needed to.
That game was a little bit bigger. I'm gonna go back and say you was a little more right.
But either way, though, whether you go back or not, again, we go. What was it, 9-8 last year?
Yeah.
You go 9-8 after starting 1-6. You gotta have offense to do that. You need a quarterback.
We've had one of the best.
We ran the ball every play, and our running backs were just scoring every single game, every single touchdown.
I mean, bro, except
then you start this year off with
you run the ball, you get play action. Now he can make plays. If you can't run the ball, he throws hella picks.
We start the year off this year exactly how we ended last year. We were 11-4 until Saturday's game. 2-point conversion away from you having a completely different story. You wearing buffs in here, not regular glasses. Had we won that game, we'd be 12-4. We'd be number 2. We'd be number 2 in the NFC.
Don't let him trick you. I've stood firm even after wins on how I feel about Jared Goff.
But again,
we're not running at full capacity. That's all I'm saying.
But again, my point is, hey, before you move off Jared Goff, make sure you have another guy that's going to continue what he did and do it better.
Yeah.
That's my point. And you're trying to find any other quarterback that can just run will leave you feeling exactly like all the other quarterbacks who could run the ball and who teams win 2-14.
I didn't say that.
You know what I'm saying?
Baker Mayfield never been a part of a 2-14 team.
Baker Mayfield is
because I can give you a list of guys.
Baker Mayfield makes playoffs.
Man, you disrespectful.
Has he made the playoffs?
Baker Mayfield took the Browns to the playoffs for the first time.
And lost. Correct. Right.
He won in the first round versus Steelers. Like you're trying so hard to discredit the guy. Trying really hard to discredit the guy.
He tore apart the Browns. He tore apart the
Browns front
office. He tore apart the Browns.
No, he did not. He
made complete hell.
Kevin Stefanski
got everything he wanted. He got everything he wanted. New wide receivers, all that. And did nothing with. He had the same season he had before that.
When did he tear? So
he was complaining about the coaching.
You're making some accusations, and they got Kevin Stefanski, and they were good.
I'm not making accusations.
And he got injured.
His next season was identical to the one previous after he made all the complaints. If not, worse.
He's a bridge quarterback.
I'm telling you,
Jared Goff is a bridge quarterback.
I'm telling you, he's not Jared Goff.
Okay,
it's disrespectful to put him in that category. You forget Jared Goff went to the Super Bowl, right? Played Brady, right?
And lost.
He went to the Super Bowl, though, right?
It was great.
Has Dak been to the Super Bowl?
And
Has Purdy been to
hold
the
on,
Super Bowl?
the running game,
That's my case,
the
man.
running game didn't look good that day, did it? And how'd that game look?
He was one play away
he wasn't one play away.
He had Robert Wood. I can break down that.
He wasn't one play away.
I can break down that Super Bowl team because
Okay,
the game was tied 3-3, mind you. And by the way, this is also one of the lowest scoring games.
Yeah, it was a really boring
13-3. Absolutely, but the game was tied 3-3 going into, I believe, the third quarter. So I mean, obviously, he was going toe to toe with Tom Brady. Mind you, not many quarterbacks that comes out of the Super Bowl against Tom Brady and say they won. You know, ask Matt Ryan how he feels about being up, having a big lead on Brady. He'll tell you it's not easy to keep it because he didn't score no more points. Largest comeback in the Super Bowl. So again, against Tom Brady and the Patriots, the game was tied 3-3. He had a wide open Robert Woods in the back of the end zone and threw the ball late because of the pressure. That's it. And it still was a catchable ball, and Robert Woods could have caught it. But Jason McCourty made one of the best plays the safety could ever make in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, Goff. They got 35 rushing yards out of Gurley that day. So Goff didn't have a good game because Goff goes as his running back goes.
The game was 13-3.
Goff goes.
Brady
goes
as
his running backs goes.
Bro.
Hey, Brady had 10 points in what quarter? The money quarter. The fourth quarter. Yeah, it was 3-3.
Yeah,
okay, so it was 0-0. You had one quarter to win, right? Yeah, clearly he had two because he got 10 points. It was 13-3
against Tom Brady and Belichick. I said the score was 13-3. Tom Brady and Bill Belichick.
Look,
who did he go up against? He had to beat all the other teams before that. Right?
Matt Ryan went up against Tom Brady and Bill Belichick.
28 points on
and how many yards he had? How many yards?
He lost.
How many yards? No, I didn't mean to say Matt Ryan. I meant to say Eli Manning. Eli Manning went up against those guys twice.
So we're talking about
Now it's chance to help your argument, but then it's okay. Just to be clear.
So we're talking. We're talking about the Giants. We're talking about the year that Brady also went. They went undefeated in all their games. They went 19-1. We're talking about that year. Everybody knows the Giants wasn't better than that Patriots team. But guess what? One drive, with David Tyree catching the once in a lifetime pass on his helmet when he couldn't catch no other balls in practice. Pause.
Hey man,
now you're putting up stats. I'm telling you, Baker Mayfield ain't Jared Goff. Like, relax.
No, he's about to step under,
Baker
but
Mayfield on
but
the team, you have the same result. That is, come on.
I do.
Come on.
I do. Because it's the team.
Nah.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying they both.
You're acting like Jared Goff had game-winning drives.
They both got 28 TDs this year. One guy got 12 picks. One guy got 10 picks.
Hey man, every touchdown. Every touchdown ain't created equal. You were high on Jared Goff when he beat Patrick.
Baker Mayfield ain't got a running game. Baker Mayfield don't have a running game, and he still got similar numbers. I'm just saying, you put him up with a running game.
Similar numbers than 9-8 in the whole team.
I'm not saying we get any further. He is. It's not. But fantasy points, they're literally 16th and 17th. I mean, they're the same guy, basically. Like, you're just giving Goff a little more credit for 2 more playoff wins. Because that's the difference there. I don't know. You must not have been watching Baker. You don't even know he went to the playoffs. You don't even know that he had went to the playoffs both times.
He won one game.
All right.
Lost the second game.
So was he hurt or not? Was he hurt or not?
All right, brother. I'm saying you can bring up whatever stat you want to bring up. They don't.
Hey, Jared Goff hurt? So when the Rams went into the playoffs the year after, the very playoffs, and he got benched at the end of the season. He got benched in a playoff game. For a guy named Sam Wolford.
And now he's king of
and then and Wolford had to get a concussion and to get Goff back onto the field with a broken hand. Quarterbacks aren't the same when they have serious injuries, man. I'm not trying to. I don't bring that up that year on Goff because he was hurt right there, and it was heroic for him to be pushing like that. Same thing with Baker Mayfield. And now you don't have to just go over.
You don't. What's your point? He made it to the. So first of all,
I'm just saying, brother.
makes it to the Super Bowl.
There's a
So
few
okay,
quarterbacks that can do what he's doing for us. There's a few. I'm saying is when it's time to pay, they need to look at those few before, because guess what? Baker Mayfield's not going to ask for 40.
because he's not Jared Goff. He doesn't have the career to prove he's worth 40.
If you let him play with us for 2 years, he'll ask for 40, and we'll let him go because you guys aren't worth 40.
But again, the crazy part is I agree with a lot of your points.
He was tossed from his team. They went straight to the Super Bowl with our quarterback.
Matthew Stafford.
They went straight to the Super Bowl with our quarterback.
Yeah.
Okay, then.
And then
So he had a Super Bowl team that he could only get nowhere.
We just said he was benched, so he didn't even
because he couldn't get the team nowhere.
He got injured.
The coach is looking. The coach is looking.
And then a lot of other things.
Yeah, so they're right. So Ty Gurley fell off. Why does that matter? They didn't have that running injured. Ty Gurley didn't come back. Stafford took him to the Super Bowl. Hey, look, I'm just saying, man. It's a difference between the top 5 quarterbacks and the field.
Yeah, but don't let a moment confuse you.
So all I'm saying is the quarterbacks that are somewhere in the ranking of like 10 to 15, 10 to 17, all of those, and then you gotta say 17 because Goff's like 16, 10 to 17.
So let's be clear. Jared Goff makes
any of those guys.
Next year he makes it to the playoffs. His team makes it to the playoffs when he gets bounced first round. Correct?
I don't know the exact facts.
Okay. He went to the Super Bowl.
I think Wolford won the first game.
And then he went to the Super Bowl the next play. So Matthew Stafford went to the Super Bowl again. So we're talking about Sean McVay's ability to be a great coach. Took his team to the Super Bowl again. They win. And then the next year they fell off. Seems like a pattern that's in their league. The only difference is Matthew Stafford got to play Joe Burrow in the playoffs and not Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. Yeah, so I'm just saying.
Yeah, Geno Smith, he can do what Jared Goff is doing for us. Tua Tagovailoa, he can do what Jared Goff is doing for us. Derek Carr, but he wants too much money. Tyrod Taylor, he could do. And I'm only talking about the season. I'm not even talking about the playoffs.
Who cares about before they get to the playoffs?
Has Jared Goff played a playoff game for the Lions?
Yeah, he's about to.
Saying he hasn't,
but he clinched it.
Okay,
so we know he's about to.
What you mean? He hasn't played one yet. So we'll see what happens. If he goes out there and gets a first round bounce, he ain't no different than any other quarterback that ever played for the Lions.
Yeah, but if his coaching staff is out there going for it on fourth when they should be kicking field goals, is that also not affected? You can't add in the other factors and then take out factors to help your argument. You just put the facts on the table and you can decide.
That's about it right now. Guys that are in the league.
And I think when you look at Geno Smith, you got to point to Pete Carroll.
So I think we look at Jared Goff, we got to point to Dan Campbell.
Maybe Ben Johnson.
I mean, who lets him go for all those first downs?
When you look at Brock Purdy, you got to look at Kyle Shanahan. I'm just saying. Every coach
that's the head coach.
But I think with the Seahawks, you can look at that team and see their backup came in and won them a game against the Cowboys, was it? If I'm not mistaken, was it the Eagles?
It was the Eagles.
The Eagles,
the 30th ranked defense. 30th. And he threw a prayer to the back corner to an elite receiver because they was in man to man.
So chance matters.
So blown play, yeah.
So chance matters in the NFL. So a lot of plays that you made reverts back to chance. And you just said chance matters.
Okay, hey, you know what, man? If Jared Goff is the guy you believe, then he should get the $40 million.
I believe in Jared Goff.
I don't know what you're talking about then. I don't know what you're talking about then.
I said before you move off Jared Goff, make sure you have someone better and more capable of doing the job that he's done. That's my point. Your point is Geno Smith and Jared Goff.
No, make sure you have somebody who can do just as good for less money. Until we can find what's better, because those quarterbacks don't come by often.
Yeah, but
you have to try. You have to trial and error a couple guys. I like how go look at Green Bay. They go grab a nice guy, Jordan Love.
They sit him behind Aaron Rodgers. They set Aaron Rodgers behind Brett Favre.
You're right.
If you don't expect greatness to come after that or something similar, you sit behind a great quarterback.
What you mean?
He's
looking good.
He's set behind.
If he wins this Sunday, he's in the playoffs.
They also again,
but that's my point.
But again,
so what is Hooker doing? Sitting behind a Super Bowl quarterback right now.
Yeah, but they didn't. Jordan Love did not start until Aaron Rodgers was gone.
Yeah.
So let's not forget that. And Aaron Rodgers chose when he left.
He played some games though.
And by the way, Jared Goff retired. I mean, not retired Aaron Rodgers, but sent Aaron Rodgers away. Stafford couldn't do it. Stafford was too busy taking L's to him.
The Detroit Lions definitely did their thing versus Aaron Rodgers in that game. But I don't know. You ain't used. Hey, man. Jared Goff is amazing for about $25 million. Yeah.
I disagree with you.
He's the guy right there.
Everybody.
But the second and you keep saying, why are you comparing him to Mahomes? Why you my nigga, if he asks for $40 million and he's
like 50.
And why you think I'd be comparing him to those guys and I tell you he's under them. He's under them. And I don't even want to compare Jared to Dak because I just know Dak going to blunder this in the playoffs. It don't matter what has happened. These playoffs start, it's going to blunder some way, somehow. Okay,
we can go back to that.
I'm just saying, we'll see if the blundering
and the refs
or we'll see if Jared Goff will be a blunderer or a plunderer in the playoffs. Will he plunder through these teams and take the Lions to the heights that he took the Rams to? According to Manny, he took them to those heights. If he's gonna take them to those heights, then we'll see. But
I said a legendary coach.
In context,
no matter how much you talk over me, but my point is still valid in terms of like what I'm saying.
I was just saying,
and the Rams.
Yeah,
you never heard me. Never.
I mean, you make sense. I just said. You just said cut the guy. I didn't say cut the guy. I'm just saying you can't overpay the guy because then you're going to diminish the team. And we finally are getting to having a good team, and I love that for us, right? Because when you got a good team, you don't have to be so reliant on the quarterback. I watched all the years we were relying on Stafford, and we weren't getting there. And now we have a good team, and our quarterback was relying on the team, not the team relying on the quarterback. That's the difference right now. That's the kind of quarterback we got. We don't rely on him. He relies on the team that's out there. If those guys aren't coming and doing their jobs, it looks bad. When Pettigrew was butt cheeks, hey, Stafford, pick a guy. Marvin Jones, you're now Calvin Johnson. You're about to get 10 catches and 4 touchdowns. Stafford could do that with most of those guys out there. Goff can barely figure out the good guys he got. Like, man, throw a deep ball. You know what I'm saying? The one time he throws a deep ball, I loved it. It was beautiful. He took the hit. You saw that ball to J-Mo? He took the hit. Watch that back. He took the hit. Boom. Delivered it. 65 yards down the field. Come on, man. Brady had to do it a couple times, too. Sometimes you got to take the hit.
Stafford still couldn't get past the Packers.
Hey, man.
You go back to it like it's like
Stafford, like I said,
great defense.
The team was relying on Stafford. Now the quarterback was relying on the team. If Stafford, first of all, so you saying let's just call it a spade. Do you think Stafford would be doing better with this current Lions team than Jared Goff? This current team, as constructed, swap Stafford for Goff. So, matter of fact. Both damn teams swap the quarterbacks right now. How the Rams looking? And do you think they're going to the playoffs with Jared Goff with that roster? Never.
No matter how loud
never.
No matter how loud you get, I'm going to answer the question that you
No,
said.
you can answer it. No. Before you give a big explanation, just answer it.
Give a big explanation.
Is swap them.
I'm not going to give.
Is Goff good? Is as successful as Stafford on that Rams team right now?
Let's point to when Stafford had what similar weapons does when he was on our team back in 2012. Was it 20?
It's not similar because he didn't have an O line.
He had losses.
He didn't have an O line. He didn't have an O line. He did not have an O line. He did not have an O line.
He wasn't king of the North.
He did not have an O line.
Let's see.
He did not have an O line.
He
did not have an O line.
Started 5-1.
He did not have an O line.
Ended up going with a.
What does Goff got? An O line and a running game. What's the two things we? Bro. The Lions hadn't had a 100-yard running back in multiple games for like 2 decades until last year with Williams. Williams. What's his name? Jamal Williams. That was the first time we had that guy for the touchdowns he had and for the multiple 100-yard games he had. That was the first time since freaking Barry Sanders. Barry Sanders. So Stafford, no. Stafford never had, you want to compare the rosters. This team is 10 times the team as that old Detroit team with that was only good top heavy. We had Sue. We had Calvin. We had Stafford.
Best defense.
Come on now. I mean, it was a top 10 defense. It was a top 10 defense. Why was it a top 10 defense? Because we had QB pressure off of one guy, right? Our defense right now is better than that defense. Our defense right now got better people on the back end. We got better people up front overall. Sue's one guy. It's three other guys that had to line up there.
We had Darius.
You all right? So our back end is better now.
Our corners are
completely the team's better now. The only thing that's not better is the quarterback. All right? And so yeah, I think if Stafford was on this team at Jared Goff's pay, don't get me wrong. If you add the money, hey, somebody's not here now. It's just a fact. Somebody's not here. You gave C.J. Gardner-Johnson money in free agency. Probably don't get him. Because you got not overpaid, but highly paid quarterback. It's just the name of the game.
But yeah, man, this is why I can't wait for us to get into the book.
Yeah. Man,
a lot of these points seem to be coming from very ego standpoints to me. You know,
really?
It doesn't seem to be looking at the statistics and really judging things based on what you see. A lot of these things.
I'm judging on.
Mayfield.
I'm judging it exactly on what I see.
Smith.
He doesn't do anything.
Quarterbacks you named as Jared Goff.
Just tell me what he does better than
have 11 wins.
Tell me what he does better than
he wins games.
Okay. So that's what he does better than him. Wins games.
He wins games.
Okay. So he was a quarterback when we were 0-10-1.
He was a quarterback when we were 1-6. It took us from 1-6.
So he was a quarterback.
9-8.
So I just want you to know
we're now 11-5. We should be 12-4.
So Manny, I just want you to know.
2 seasons. He put Dan Campbell's record from 3-20 to 23-20. What was it? What's his?
So he's finally getting it. Hold on, Jared Goff's been the only quarterback for Dan Campbell. So Jared Goff was the quarterback when he was getting all the losses. Just Jared Goff's the quarterback when he's getting all the wins.
Our defense was
guess what?
35 points against the Eagles.
Eagles defense is absolute garbage, and yet Jalen Hurts has his team with 11 wins.
And they just lost 3 in a row, mind you, because they're an identity struggle right now.
Yeah, they came in. And what got you? Why you got 11 wins? So why you got 11 wins?
What teams were they beating up on?
Oh, just the Chiefs.
We beat the Chiefs.
Just the Chiefs. You know what I'm saying? You can go over here. Just Dallas. He beat Dallas.
He lost to Dallas.
He beat Dallas.
Yeah, they won. They're 1-1.
Just saying. He beat Dallas. Okay.
He beat Dallas.
He also
Dallas beat him.
He beat the Bills.
He just lost to the Cardinals.
He beat the Bills.
Calm down.
Dallas lost to the Cardinals too.
Relax.
Okay.
Relax.
Dallas lost to the Cardinals.
Settle yourself.
But regardless,
he lost 3 straight.
Okay.
Lost to the Seahawks again.
Does he have more losses than the Lions? No, he don't. Just because they came in a row, what does that mean? Did he lose any game like Jared Goff lost to the Ravens? No, not one.
Lamar also just put a humbling on the 49ers and the Dolphins. Mind you, both teams are MVP runner-ups. It's not really fair when you compare a lot of NFC teams to what Lamar is doing. Don't make your point as if that was like the stickler. The Ravens. Ravens did us bad. Yeah, Ravens just did the 49ers bad, and they just did the Dolphins bad. Not to mention Lamar just put up 89 points in 2 games to 2 teams who are top 5 in offense.
Okay.
Because their defense.
He also lost to Lamar lost to the Colts and lost to the Browns. All right.
It seems to me like that
stuff can happen exactly.
That seems
okay.
that's what football is.
All right. So I'm just saying.
However, So
You don't. So who do I compare Jared Goff to? If I can't compare him to the good quarterbacks, but you're saying he's a good quarterback. You're bringing up wins. You're bringing up wins. Okay. So based on wins, I'm gonna compare him to the other quarterbacks with those wins. Then, right? No, those quarterbacks are too good. No, I'm just saying. That's what you're saying. You keep saying I'm comparing him to Hurts. I'm comparing him to these guys.
And every team in the league,
he ain't like those guys.
Even the 49ers would take any of the quarterbacks you try to compare Jared Goff to. Even the Cowboys.
Bro.
And all of us had the same record, 49ers being only one at 12-4. So I'm just saying, when you look at quarterbacks to compare them to, and you point immediately to Lamar, Mahomes, you're talking about once-in-a-generation talent. Like anybody, every team in the league would rather have those guys at quarterback than who they have. But they make do with what they have. So compare Jared Goff to teams who make do with what they have. And I'm telling you, when it comes to Dak Prescott,
you don't like
those might be fair comparisons.
Okay.
Those might be fair comparisons. But I'm saying in terms of their rosters, they have better rosters than what Jared Goff has, which you agreed to.
I didn't.
So you don't think
Dallas does not?
You don't think the 49ers have a better roster?
I said yes to the 49ers. I said no to Dallas.
And we were a 2-point conversion called back away from the refs from having the same.
We're a lot of things away because of the quarterback we got. Because the quarterback we got, we're a lot of things away in that game.